video back again with another live. Today we're gonna talk about Drake, aka BBL Drizzy. His Toronto mansion was just lit up last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, or should I say this morning. They say one person it was hit, and one person they say one person was hit and is in the hospital right now with some serious injuries. Let's jump straight into it. You know, Drake been at the center of attention, man. I would definitely say, man, for a good man, the last 2 months. You know, it all started, with his beef with Kendrick, I would say, over like the last month and a half. You know, a lot of people in the industry, is turning their back on Drizzy. You know, a lot of people that, Drake gave platinum songs to #1 hits, a lot of people turning their back on him. But that's the generation we live in, where people forget about what you did in the past. But one thing that I'm not surprised about is that Drake's Toronto mansion, you could go online right now and get his address to his house right now. Like it's no secret. But the one thing that they don't tell you is that his house is like a compound fortune. You know, it's like you're not just about to walk up to Drake's front door and just knock on his door. No, like Drake got armed security. He had to get a grant from the country of Toronto. I said the country for the state or the city of Toronto. So that he can get a bill passed, so that he can get walls put up pretty much around his house, because I forgot what it was that he had to go through, but he had to get permission before he can build the walls around his house because it was so big. And I guess in Toronto, Canada, you're not allowed to have a certain wall in front of your house. But of course, for Drizzy, they had to make how can I put it? They had to make certain moves so that Drake could be happy, pretty much. He's the hometown hero. He bringing more money to the city of Toronto than the Toronto Raptors, if you want to be hunted. But at the end of the day, man, I don't think I don't think it was just no random person that just walked up to Drake house and just did that, because like I say, you got to get past security to get past security to get past security to even get let in Drake house. You get what I'm saying? Drake got a whole wall in front of his crib. You're not just getting in Drake house that easy. Then on top of that, you think for a second, even if you do get past the gate of Drake's compound mansion, do you think you even got a chance to even get close to Drake? Think about it. This man is like the biggest thing in Toronto. Like, he's bigger than the president in Toronto. You get what I'm saying? So you think for a second that Drake armed security is gonna let you just get that close to Drake? Nah, man. This was inside. This was somebody that Drake and them knew. This was an inside altercation that just went left, for my personal opinion. Because I'm gonna say this again. You're not gonna have access to Drake like that. You can look online. It'll tell you the address to his house. Guarantee you, when you pull up to Drake house, you're gonna see a wall that look like something that separates the United States and Mexico. So nobody is just gonna have access to get to Drake house like that. So if there was a altercation that jumped off inside of Drake's mansion, that will only have to be people that he known. You get what I'm saying? But of course, you can't just come out and say what's really going on, because let's be honest, Toronto and Canada has some of the harshest, strictest gun laws ever. So it's not like the United States, where something like this just happens like in everyday like life. Like, it's sad to say, but the United States, a shooting happens every day. You could go to Detroit, you will hear shots. You can go to California, you're gonna hear shots. You could go to Chicago, St. Louis, Florida. I can keep going and going. But Toronto, Canada is not, or doesn't have, a high shooting crime rate. Of course, it still has shootings. Of course, I'm not going to say that. But Toronto, their gun laws is so strict over there that they got to really keep this really under the rug. Like, they got to really sweep this under the rug, because, like I say, nobody is going to get access to Drake's home like that. You can pull up to Drake's house. You're gonna see a wall that's taller than the border wall. You get what I'm saying? Drake had to get personal grants from the city of Toronto to build those walls around his house, because he just didn't want people to have access to his door. So even if you get over that gate, I'm gonna say again, you're not gonna get that close to Drake. You not, bro. You're not gonna get that close to Drake, bro. You not. That's an inside altercation that just spilled out of control. Whoever was involved in that altercation in front of Drake house was some of Drake peoples or some of Drake entourage. You get what I'm saying? Or somebody he invited over there. But it's not just no, they trying to make it seem like, oh, a random person just jumped, just ended up in front of Drake house and then the shots was fired. Come on, man. You think Drake security gonna let you even make it to that door? Think about how many cameras you think is around Drake house. You think his security ain't watching them cameras at full time? He's like, come on, man. We got to think smart and logic about this. This is the biggest star that's been on this planet, man, since probably Michael Jackson or Elvis. That's how big Drake is. Do you think that he's that accessible when his address to his Toronto mansion is already public? Do you think that you're gonna have that easy access to get over Drake Wall and get to Drake? You must be crazy, bro. You even got to get past the security booth to even get to Drake. That was an inside altercation that just spilled out of control. I'm not saying it was Drake entourage on Drake entourage, but whoever they invited into there must have got out of hand or however it happened, and shots was fired and somebody did get hit. But once again, we're not just gonna sit here and say that it's just a random fan or a random person that jumped over Drake's gate and got into it with his entourage. Hell no, that's not the case. A shooting did take place at Drake house, but it's way more details that's not put out there, so it makes it look like, oh, it's just a random shooting. No, that's not gonna happen at Drake's house. Just a random shooting. So if it was a shooting, obviously it was an altercation or somebody felt threatened or feared or something like that. Once again, I'm going to say that was already from the people that was already inside of the gate. They didn't let somebody in the gate. And you get what I'm saying? When the altercation took place at 2 o'clock in the morning, you think that they opening their gate for somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning? Think about that. You think Drake is letting somebody in his house at 2 o'clock in the morning? That's more than likely somebody that was already there. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's not letting somebody in his house at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, just think about that. He's just going to randomly let somebody in his house. Now I can see if he coming in, then the person is going to be with Drake. You get what I'm saying? But I feel like that was somebody that they had invited over. I felt like words got exchanged and I felt like stuff got out of hand. And I felt like Drake security had to do what they had to do. But I don't think that this was just no random attack on Drake and people trying to make it seem like it got something to do with his beef that he got going on in the industry. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's really wake up, man. Let's really wake up, man. Let's really wake up. I don't think it got nothing to do with his beef or nothing like that. It's just, I feel like sometimes controversy and other controversies just sometimes to happen around the same time. I don't feel like Kendrick got nothing to do with this. I felt like what they got going on is just strictly rap. Like, I don't feel like he got nothing to do with it. But again, at the end of the day, fans is gonna speculate and they gonna say what they want to say. But I'm gonna say this again. I feel like that was an altercation that happened from the people that was already inside of the gate. I don't feel like somebody jumped Drake gate and the security had to put him down. I felt like that was the guest that was walking up into Drake house and stuff just got out of hand. A lot of times when liquor and alcohol and a lot of stuff is involved, things get out of hand. Because if you guys are arguing and fighting at 2 o'clock in the morning, more than likely there's some type of substance that was involved. Because nobody just up at 2 o'clock in the morning anyway, like that, hype, amped and fighting, unless you what? Coming from the club or you've been drinking, you've been doing something. You got to think Drake's life's a movie. He ain't got to wake up and go to work the next morning. So, the people around him probably stay lit. It's a party everywhere Drake go. So I can only imagine, what he was doing at the house, so he could have been having a party or however it go. But I do know that one of his guests did get out of hand and his security had to do what they had to do. But I don't feel like it was just no random attack. I felt like the person that got into the altercation with Drake's security, I felt like he was invited there because, like I said again, Drake's compound is so secure that you're not just jumping no gate to get over there. Like, he don't got no regular fence and no gate or nothing. This man has concrete walls that was built, you know. But I'm gonna say again, when more details come on, we're gonna find out stuff. I feel like a lot of this stuff is gonna have to hurry up and get swept up under the rug because Canada has a zero tolerance for firearms and shootings and stuff like that. Then again, they try to stay away from the American image to where it's just the wild, wild west here. States like countries like Toronto and England, they pride themselves on having low shootings and low grind. Low gun, um, low gun cases, all of that. Like, they pride themselves on not really having shootings and stuff like that. So when stuff like this happen, it makes Canada look bad because they don't have that type of image. Like, of course, shootings and stuff, of course, there are firearms and stuff over there, but it doesn't happen as rarely as it happens in the United States. So that's why they try to just paint that image and that picture like Paris, England, Toronto, all of those states, we're real tough on guns. We have a 2% gun conviction rate. Like, they gun percentages be so low because they rarely have those type of incidents happening over there. So when an incident happened like that in Toronto, especially being at the ambassador of Toronto being Drake, this is something that they got to hurry up and sweep up under the rug because, like I say, they could try to make it seem like how could it would have been a fan if Drake got a compound wall that you can't even climb. You could get airlifted over there or you can walk through the gates, but you're not climbing that wall, you know? So whoever got into the altercation with the security had already had to be in the house, you know? So they know what's going on, but I don't feel like it got nothing to do with no beef or nothing like that. I don't feel like it was no fan or nothing like that. I feel like it was a guest that probably got out of hand and his security had to do what they had to do. But it's your boy D's Media signing out. Peace, positivity, network growth, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think.